I'm in my driveway here and unloading my car after that big trip to the UP. I had a 13-day trip planned. I ended up cutting it short, made it 11 days. But I'll show you what a geologist considers a decent haul for a 13-day trip. I'll also use this record to try to remind myself later where these pieces came from. So first I got some pretty meaningless rock. Well, I don't know. They're nice. These are amphibolites from the Felch area. I was trying to find a bunch of quarries out there and completely failed. Either roads were blocked off or turns out they were private property. There were a couple of issues we had out there. I didn't find anything. So I ended up just whacking a few pieces off of a nice outcrop out there along the road. These pieces aren't in any particular order either. Here we are in the northern Kona. This is the Iroquois Mine, which we had permission to access, and has a lot of nice prehnite. I chose, well, we actually have a little bit of sun here, so let me take some of these into the sun and hope that the prehnite shows well in the sun here. It's the green. You get nice radiating crystals on that. These are not the best prehnite I have by any means, but it's not bad. Got a few pieces of copper that were just laying around. Got one piece of chrysocolla here, which could have come from a different mine that we'd visited just a little bit before that, but this was lying in my Iroquois pile, so I'm going to assume it came from Iroquois. This might be the nicest piece of prehnite I have here. You don't see the nice radiating crystals in there, but you do get a nice rich green color. Moving on, we've got pieces from one of many Mohawk dumps. And I believe it's these two very heavy pieces here. This one here I've positively identified as Mohawkite. In the sun you can actually see it glittering a bit of a gold color underneath the green tarnish. I would never have picked this up, would never have considered it, except that Johnny Gladstone was taking me out there, and he was showing me how to identify Mohawkite. That's one that I've never been familiar with really, and he handed me a pinpointer, which is a little metal detector that'll buzz when you press it against something metallic. He was out there with a real fancy metal detector, couldn't find anything. I just had a little pinpointer and found two pieces. So there is a large element of luck involved. Of course, I say that he's found lots out there before. And of course it also has copper. Got some pieces of copper sticking out of that one. Another piece here. Also had some really nice calcite, I remember. That might have got mixed into some different piles here. But here's a nice. I never get tired of the calcite. Here's some pieces that, frankly, I don't remember where it came from. Over here, we have Kona Dolomites, the real dirty ones. Were collected from a mountain, and I'm really looking forward to cleaning them up. I think they're going to be gorgeous when they're cleaned up. You get a sense of what they could potentially end up looking like, although these ones are more white, less pink. What they could end up potentially looking like is some of the material I collected from the Lindbergh and Sons quarry with their permission. And this is probably close to what they would be happy with any of us taking without paying for it. I would assume if you take even one or two more pieces than that, you should probably put it on a scale and just give them a couple bucks. They're very, very friendly, very cool with us collecting there and visiting, but don't take advantage. It costs money for them to rip these out of the ground. You take a bunch, give them a few bucks. Over here we've got some Sodalite bearing stones that glow under a UV light. Not much to look at during the daylight. These came from a couple of different beaches. And I think two of these pieces actually came from the Adventure Mind gift shop. I was chatting with the guy there and I was telling him about where I was going out, and he said, "Oh, well, here, have a couple of our pieces in case you don't find anything." Oh, okay, thank you. Over here we got all sorts of bags full of pretty stones, some prenites, some naturalites, some agates that were found on various beaches, from Agate Beach, Gratiot County, or Gratiot River County Park. I think those are the two main stops we had for agates. There are a couple of other locations, but those were the two big ones. Some of these are really nice. I might show you some of these later. I collected a bag of red sand out there. I always love the red sand beaches of the Keweenaw, even though they're uncomfortable. Over here, these boring guys. These came from Grand Marais and I think Muscalong State Park. And I collected these ugly guys because they look very similar in some respects to some of the really ultra weird rocks some of you guys collect that look like they've got runes on them. People always think, oh, put it back, it's Native American writing or ancient aliens or something. I have to inform people, no, it's natural. But I've never actually cracked one of these open to have a good look. So I want to make sure I'm not misidentifying these, assuming that these are the same basic rock type as some of those weirder rocks. Not entirely sure where these came from anymore. I'm not even entirely sure what type of mineral this is. I'll be consulting some books on that in a bit. Alright, moving on. We come over here. Excuse the leaves that's fall in my cottonwood tree. Is ridiculous. Take a look at this fossil cast from Limestone Mountain. Absolutely beautiful. I spent about 20 minutes trying to find the fossil that must have come out of this rock, and it either got blasted to oblivion at the quarry or somebody else picked it up. I would actually say it probably fell apart because these rocks are pretty fragile. While I was looking for it though, I found this guy right there. I believe an alloid, but someone who knows fossils better than me and might be able to tell me better. I'd love to pull it out of the rock. I'm just real nervous about destroying it, so we'll see. I may gently work it later. Over here we've got material from the Champion Mine in Champion, Michigan. That's public access. You can, so obvious where to find it. They actually have it labeled on Google Maps, so you can actually just type it in and go find it. This is a very heavy piece of hematite. We got the specular hematite here. Super shiny. Wish we had a little sunlight. The sun comes and goes. Well, it looks like it's pretty much gone now. It's all gray clouds, so go figure. But super duper shiny. We got a few baggies with shiny rocks and what we call the glitter rocks, which is why they're in baggies. I think these are the ones here that my son collected. 3-year-old's a great place to bring a young child. And then the wife required that I put the larger pieces of our glitter rocks in this plastic bag so that we don't glitter the heck out of the car. But got some nice stuff here. This is a ton of black tourmaline in there. Some really nice material here. That's completely covered up by this bag. I'm just not going to fight with it. Over here we have this amygdala here that I suspect contains dadolite inside. Won't really know until we cut it, and I won't cut it until I actually buy myself a proper saw, so it'll be some time yet. And this is just a really nice piece of calcite with rock running through the middle of it. It's a strange formation, so I just picked it up because I thought it was neat. Here's another nodule of what I suspect is dadolite. It might not be. Have to buy some equipment and cut it open. From the Michigami area, we've got the Sodalite schists. They're very platy, very shiny, and they tend to just look lumpy with all the garnets inside. Now I was trying to find some nice standalone Sodalites, hopefully with twinning, and I found precisely 0. A lot of Sodalite schist, but the problem is it's hard to get them out of the rock. You really have to find a spot where they've weathered out on their own. And I did not find such a spot. I tried digging through all sorts of dirt and couldn't find a single twin Sodalite in there. So mixed success, I guess. I tried going to several locations. Well, that doesn't belong there. This is from a road cut, also in the Michigami area, but this is a nice piece of gabbro. Also possibly from the Michigami area, maybe closer to Marquette. We got some nice slate here, real platy. I always like to collect the weird ones, and considering where I live, this is weird enough for me. I always enjoy these. If you live in an area or you're visiting an area with tons of this on a shoreline, there are no better skipping stones on the planet. All right, over here, also from the Michigami area, and a site that is famous for its massive chloritized garnets that I'm just not sure if I was trespassing or not. I don't think I was. They specifically took down the fences that were up years ago and built a road up that way. So, and there were no signs telling me to keep out. So I believe it's at public access, but just in case it's not, I'm not telling you exactly where it was around Michigami. But I've got some nicer pieces with larger intact garnets. Of course, when I say intact, they've been replaced with chlorite. According to the Seaman Mineral Museum, it's a variety called chamosite, I believe. But these ones appear to be less replaced. And you get some beautiful, boy, I really wish there was sun right now, but you get some really beautiful ruby colors reflected in that. Not ruby, of course, but honestly, if I would be inclined to think, based on physical appearance, that it's some sort of a sphalerite or something, but you know, it's been actually analyzed by Michigan Tech, so I'm going to go with their analysis of a mixture of almandine and chamosite, because as knowledgeable as I am not more knowledgeable than a university lab. You got to know your limitations. Here we see a whole cluster of these garnets, all broken up a little bit, sadly. But look at that cluster of garnets up there. God. And a lot of these smaller crystals, you might be seeing smaller reflective prismatic crystals in here. These are magnetite. They tend to attract a magnet. These rocks are incredibly heavy, by the way. The combined weight of these rocks is probably in excess of 70 pounds. But it's just so nice. And once again, I just regret the sun being hidden by the clouds, because in the sunlight, those really, really glisten. All right, what have we got here? We've got some, some talc schists that I have. These came from the Ropes gold mine area, I believe. And I've got these rocks in 2 different places. So we'll see more over here. These need to be cleaned up. These are going to be beautiful green once they're clean. You know, geologists don't usually lick their rocks, but usually spit on them. So let me be gross here and just... There you go. That's going to show the color a little bit better when it's cleaned up, when it's not all covered with talc powder. Over here we got some serpentinite from the Deer Lake area that's near to the Ropes gold mine. Of course, there's like 40 different Deer Lakes in Michigan. This is one north of Ishpeming. There's actually a public access fishing spot you can walk up to, and then you got all this beautiful serpentinite up there. Some of this stuff is a bit asbestiform, not true asbestos, but getting a little closer to being hairy. Here we have our graphites from the Taylor Mine or Ford Exploration Pits area. Not much to look at, but fun to play with. Some Thompsonites from Thompsonite Hill. I didn't find nearly as much as I was hoping to up there. I did find Thompsonite Hill, which I was real happy about. It was beautiful. Got some quartzites I pulled out of a road cut south of Marquette. Nice reddish, pinkish, purplish quartzite there. Not sure what that rock is, or even particularly why I picked it up anymore. This might end up going outside. Over here, we've got, I believe these came from near Calumet. I don't recall the exact location. But we've got a bit of Sodalite mixed into these rocks, which is awfully fun. I see my video is starting to glitch out, which tells me my phone is struggling to survive. Beautiful amygdaloidal basalt there. Some fun stuff in the amygdals. You get 3 different materials in there. You get the red zeolite, or zeolite, which I believe is hewlandite. You get the green epidote, and what I strongly suspect is calcite, being the white. Down here we got some nice epidotes from, I believe these ones are from Norwich Mine. And then following along the epidote theme, there are some great epidotes from the King Philip Mine, south of, kind of in the lower Keweenaw, south of Houghton. Got some other epidote and some other materials here. I'm not entirely sure which mine dump these guys came from. Got some more epidote here. Got a nice piece of copper crystal coming out of this rock here. Looks like it's got a coating of cuprite on it. I always love that. And then from the Baltic mine here, got this gorgeous piece of chalcocite here, showing this kind of a chrysocolla type color here. But if you take a look at the side, look at that beautiful silver there. Now that's not silver the metal, that's the silver color. The metal silver always, you almost always find it looking black because it tarnishes black. Same way you almost always find copper looking green. The green oxidation on this tells you this is a copper mineral, this chalcocite. All right. Now for the real prizes. These came from the Ropes Gold Mine area. We have some beautiful green talc crystals in here. Very soft, very fragile. They don't hold up well at all. You gotta be real careful when you're packing them in the car, transporting them, storing them. These are some of the softest minerals on the planet. Very, very soft. And we have some talc schist in here, like I showed before. But we also have, and again, I'm wishing that we had sunlight, but we don't, these beautiful gold crystals in here that could be pyrite, but they look too bronze for pyrite. And I'm not seeing true cubes in there. I know that in the general region there's a very rare mineral called cubanite. I'd like to consider that as a possibility. We're going to do some research and try to figure out what I'm seeing in here It's not some of the usual suspects, though. I don't believe it's chalcopyrite. I don't believe it's pyrrhotite. Certainly not marcasite. I really don't think it's pyrite. So by process of elimination, it's probably something pretty interesting. Here's another gorgeous piece. Boy, these were real easy to break off of the larger rocks because it is a talc schist. It's very soft. But it's got these beautiful metal crystals in there. Gorgeous. And finally, from the area around Meek, I won't say exactly where because I don't want it to get stampeded by people. We got some of my favorites, some gorgeous chrysocolla in here. Some of the smallest pieces are some of the most beautiful, in my opinion. It just doesn't look natural, but it is. These are copper minerals. And this is all hosted by Copper Harbor Conglomerate. Spectacular. I'm absolutely thrilled to have found so much of it. So I was up there in the UP for 11 days. I was probably hunting locations and collecting on 8 or 9 of those days. And yeah, that's what I came back with. I would say only about half of the locations I tried to visit I actually got to, either due to time constraints or not finding them where they were supposed to be, or finding out that they were private access, or finding out that I had a half-mile walk and my toddler just couldn't keep up with it. So yeah, not too bad.